thing I've ever gone to as an adult. I think I went to one when I was a baby. And I've noticed that a lot of the people who are coming, I haven't seen a lot of these people in a long time. And a lot of them are in relationships or getting married or thinking about getting married. I have gotten really used to being on my own and entertaining myself and self-soothing and taking care of myself, cooking for myself, all that stuff. I've gotten very used to it. So it feels kind of just like how it is now. And I sometimes have a really hard time even imagining myself in a relationship because I've gotten so good at being alone, and I think I've gotten kind of bad at being with another person. I'm somebody who prioritizes autonomy a lot and having the choice to do whatever I want to do at any given moment. I like not having to ask people permission for anything, and I think in an ideal relationship, you're not asking permission to do anything. There's trust there that allows you to experience life and do it the way that you see fit. Even just the action of like being kind of obligated to text someone back right away. I'm not good with my phone. I'm not the best at interpersonal communications sometimes. I can be there for people, but it is something I'm working on, just kind of being present all the time with people and being available for others. I'm not exactly sure why I've been single for so long, but I think it might be fun to use ChatGPT to spit out like a Cosmopolitan-style love quiz. So I prompted her to do that. Let's get into this Cosmopolitan-style relationship quiz. I'll ask you one question at a time, keeping it fun and breezy, but with a hint of depth. Here's the first question. When you meet somebody you're attracted to, what's your typical move? Flash them your most dazzling smile and start chatting. Wait for them to make the first move. Why risk rejection? Overthink it to the point of doing absolutely nothing, or drop a casual compliment and see where it goes. I'm a D girly. I'll be like, I like your beard. How do you feel about dating apps? They're my main strategy. Efficiency is key. I dabble but find them a little overwhelming. Swipe, no thanks. I prefer meeting people IRL. I have an account but ghost the apps after a week. I'm gonna go with B. It's a whole job. And also, but I have actually dating apps. I've met so many people that I really do love on dating apps. Dating apps aren't all bad. Like I think there's really, I don't think you can condemn dating apps. For me, anecdotally, I've met some great people, but it's hard to put the time in on them, honestly. Like, there are certain times when I'm like feral and I'm swiping manically, but that's probably like once a month, and the rest of the time I don't really check it. And then I get back on there and I'm like, hey girls, like, hey, like, haven't talked to anybody in 6 months. How we all doing? What's your ideal first date? Something adventurous like rock climbing or a cooking class? A cozy coffee date to chat and vibe? Dinner and a movie, classic for a reason. A wild night out where anything can happen. I mean, when I was like 23, you could take me rock climbing. Don't take me rock climbing on a first date. That's crazy. I don't feel like doing, like, I'm down. For me, it's gonna have to be B, because I like to understand a little about you before we just decide to skydive together or something. And coffee is my go-to first date now, because alcohol makes things troublesome and also it's expensive, and I don't want to invest the money for 2 drinks into a date if I don't know that I'm gonna like the person even. When your friends talk about their relationships, you usually feel happy for them, but also a little left out. Damn. Relieved. It's nice not having to deal with someone else's drama. God damn. Motivated to put yourself out there more. Unbothered, you're thriving on your own. Unbothered, I'm thriving on my own. I'm happy to hear my friends talk about their relationships. Love it. Happy for you. My sense of self is untouched. Personally. Thriving solo. Love that energy. Let's keep it going. How do you typically react when somebody flirts with you? Flirt back. Why not have some fun? Overanalyze it later. Were they really flirting though? Get awkward and change the subject. Smile politely, but keep it casual. I mean, I'm a mix of A and B. I'll flirt back and then later I'll be like, was that all a ruse? But I'm gonna go with A because, yeah, no, I'm a yes and type girl. If you're yes, I will and. That's not how it works. What's your biggest priority in life right now? Crushing it in your career or studies, finding balance and focusing on self-care, building deep connections with friends and family, exploring life and seeing where it takes you. Great question, chat. GPT. I'm trying to do all 4 of those things. But I guess if I had to pick one of these, I would honestly say D. I'm trying to like be alive a little more. Career, love that. Family, love that. But if I can't even, I'm trying to just relax into things and have a fun time. What's your vibe when it comes to texting someone you like? Quick replies with witty banter. You keep the convo alive. You wait a bit to respond. You're not too eager. Stress about what to say and sometimes end up ghosting. You're straightforward. If you like them, you let them know. Quick replies with witty banter. I used to do that thing where if they haven't texted you back in a while, I would like wait. And I mean, I'm not hit and send 5 seconds after they sent me something. That I think is great. If they haven't texted me in 3 days and then they text me, I'm not I'm not right back at it. If I have the attention, the bandwidth for it in this moment, I'm gonna get back to it. So I'm gonna give A. Also, quickest way to my heart is to be a little bit witty, a little bit sharp. And this, I'm not trying to tell you as in, like, this is not me campaigning for a boyfriend, so just to get that clear. How do you usually feel after a date? Excited. You're already imagining a second date. Neutral. It was fine, but you're not rushing into anything. Anxious. Did you say or do the wrong thing? Relieved. It's over and now you can relax. I mean, depends on how it went. But for the most part, I love when the date is over. Even if it was fun, it's over. I can have my little me time. What's your biggest turnoff in a potential partner? Bad communication. It's a total deal breaker. Lack of ambition or drive. Being overly clingy or needy. A sense of entitlement or arrogance. I mean, I hate all these things. But I think the biggest turnoff gotta be C. And I've been clingy before, by the way. So if you had to describe your love life as a TV genre, what would it be? It would be Off the Air, girly. A rom-com, funny, awkward, and full of cute moments. A drama, there's always something happening. A mystery, you never know where it's going. A documentary, low-key and all about self-discovery. You know, I love how she's wording these questions. I really feel like I'm in Cosmopolitan magazine. I'm gonna go with D. Documentary. It is, I'm learning. Every time I meet somebody, it ends up teaching me something about myself. Even if it's the worst date ever, I'm like, okay, don't like that. Good knowledge. When you imagine your dream relationship, what stands out the most? Non-stop laughter and fun adventures, deep emotional connection and trust, a partner who supports your goals and ambitions, independence while still having someone to share your life with. You know, my gut says C. I want to be supported and lifted, and I want to help my partner work towards whatever they're going for too. Like, I think there's something extraordinarily sexy about that, and I know people who are in partnerships who kind of work together in ways, and I see that relationship as being really nice sometimes, so I'm gonna go with C. How do you handle conflict in relationships? Talk it out calmly. I'm all about resolution. Avoid it first. Come back to it later when I'm ready. Dive in head first. I'm not afraid of confrontation. Shut down and process before addressing it. I used to be a C ass, where I just start going for it right away, but now I'm almost a B, I think, but then avoid is not the word. I don't avoid it at first. I just hold my tongue for as long as possible while I process what's happening. We're not getting to the bottom of this right now. If I'm emotional about something, I can't think about it clearly enough to have those conversations. I need time to process. So talk it out calmly, though, is really what I'm gonna go with, because we're eventually gonna get there. What's your biggest fear about relationships? Losing your independence or sense of self. Getting hurt or betrayed. I thought I said pickling the wrong person. We've all been there. Picking the wrong person and wasting time, or settling for less than you deserve. Hitting hard, girl. You're hitting hard. I love this quiz so far. I'm not that afraid of getting hurt, honestly. Because if you hurt me, this is who you're hurting. Picking the wrong person and wasting time. I don't know about wasting time. I don't believe that time can never be wasted, to be honest. Settling for less than you deserve. I do worry about that. Losing your independence or sense of self, though. That's the scariest thing ever. That's my jaws. How do you usually act when you have a crush? Play it cool, but drop hints here and there. Go on full flirt mode. You can't help it. Overthink every move and overanalyze every interaction. Keep it to yourself until you're 100% sure they're into you. It's funny because I can tell that a lot of these answers are like designed to, if you pick them, are gonna say like you're an anxious person. I used to be really anxious about relationships, and I always used to wonder where I stood with people, and I don't really have that going on anymore. It's not my business. We're definitely not gonna go with C. It's either A or B. It's a mixture of A and B. Full on flirt mode is kind of not what I would describe it as, but I'm heavy-handed a little bit, but I'm gonna go with B. I think it's B. What's your attitude toward commitment? All in. I love the idea of being somebody's person. Cautiously optimistic. I'm open to it if it feels right. Nervous. It's a big deal and I don't take it lightly. Unbothered. I'm happy to keep things casual. So what is commitment? You know? What is commitment? Because commitment to a lot of people is monogamy. Commitment to a lot of people is some sort of polyamorous setup or an open relationship setup. I mean, for me, I know what I want. I don't want to ever commit to something that isn't compatible with what I want. So I'm going to go with nervous, because I'm not afraid to commit to people, but I'm afraid to get on the same page about what that commitment means. I think I'm committing to somebody if I'm showing up for them consistently, treating them with respect and love. That's my version of commitment. So I'm nervous about all the stuff that happens around that word. There's a lot of subtext. What's the vibe of your inner circle of friends? They're all coupled up and constantly trying to set me up. A mix of singles. Who's setting people up? Like, we are in 2025. I don't know. If people are that's crazy. A mix of singles and couples. We balance each other out. We balance balance each other out. Mostly singles. We're all living our best lives solo. A tight-knit group that really discusses dating. Well, it's definitely not D. We are tight-knit, but we are talking about boys, baby. We're not all mostly single. They're also not all coupled up. So it's actually very clearly B. It's a mix of singles and couples. And I am one of those single spring chickens. When you think about being single, how do you feel? Empowered. It's my time to shine. Content. I'm in no rush to change things. A little frustrated. Why is it so hard to meet somebody? Indifferent. I don't think about it much. For a while, I've been D, indifferent. I don't think about it much. Because it's really not a big deal. We're all alive on this planet. We're all single sometimes. You know, it's okay. Lately, I've been a little frustrated. I've been a little frustrated. Why is it so hard to meet somebody? Because, but I live in LA, and LA is notoriously a war zone in terms of dating. So frustration is maybe not the right word, but I'm a little curious. Like, why? Like, what's going on? How do you typically meet new people? Through friends or social events. It's more natural that way. At work or school, spend so much time there anyway. Online, apps make it easier to cast a wider net. Randomly in public, life's full of surprises. What's your meet cute method? Well, if I'm meeting people to date, it's on apps, honestly. So C. I'm gonna go with C. I'm not really in the bookstore talking to people. I'm a little afraid of that. 2 more questions, baby. 2 more questions. How do you feel about vulnerability in relationships? It's essential. You can't connect without it. It's scary, but I'm working on it. I struggle with it. I prefer to keep my guard up. I'll be vulnerable if the other person goes first. It is essential. You can't connect without it. I don't have trouble being vulnerable. I'm not afraid of getting hurt or anything. I'm so much more afraid of not living than I am of living and getting hurt for it. So I'm gonna go with A. If your love life had a motto, what would it be? Better single than settling. Love will find me when the time is right. Dating is an adventure, not a destination. Work in progress. Handle with care. I love D. Like, it's not D, but I think D is so cute. Okay, it's not B either. That's giving Charlotte Sex and the City energy. I'm more of a Carrie Miranda hybrid. And Carrie is C. Carrie is dating is an adventure, not a destination. And Miranda's A. So which am I more of? I'm not as staunchly like better single than settling. Like that just has like an attitude to me. I'm gonna go with C because dating is an adventure and I've had a really fun time doing it. All right, let's see. Read me. Oh man, it's giving me a lot. Oh man. Why Are You Still Single? By ChatGPT. You're somebody who thrives on independence and adventure, and you're not about to settle for anything less than a partner who supports your goals and respects your autonomy. This is amazing, but it can mean you're extra cautious about who you let into your life. You're a full-on flirt, so initial spark... They really took that full-on flirt and ran. You're a full-on flirt, so initial sparks probably aren't your issue, correct? But when it comes to deeper connections, your fear of losing your sense of self or picking the wrong person may sometimes make you hesitate. You're nervous about commitment because you take it seriously. A good thing, but this might make you overthink whether someone is worth the emotional risk. Plus, while you're open to dating apps and vulnerability, you might feel a little frustrated with the process, which can make putting yourself out there feel like a chore rather than an adventure. Oh my God. Ultimately, your confidence, humor, and straightforward energy make you a catch. And thank you so much, by the way. But your focus on living your best life and not rushing into anything means you're pacing yourself. You might just need to open yourself up to unexpected opportunities. Romance isn't always as logical as you'd like it to be. What do you think? Does this resonate? Chat, does this resonate? Yeah, no, that resonates a lot, actually. That's exactly what's going on. That is just exactly what's going on. One of my goals going forward, and this has to do with relationships, but not romantic relationships, is just kind of being available to people and being there for people. And that can be as simple as just like checking in and saying hi. You can't have meaningful experiences with other people if you're not A, opened up to it, and B, putting in elbow grease to make those relationships work. So while I'm here with my family and I'm seeing people that I haven't seen in years, it's great because I'm just remembering like, wow, it really shouldn't be this long between every time we see each other, you know? And while we're doing them, we should just really enjoy them. I think last night I was hanging out with some members of my family and I had that kind of moment of like, oh, I need to pay attention and lock in and like remember this moment and appreciate it because they're so rare. What I'm looking for when it comes to relationships, it's not necessarily romantic. I just want to have deeper relationships with those people. What I think I forget a lot is that does not come without work. What I've noticed recently is that living in such an individualistic society, my first instinct is to kind of like to output. And when you're always on output mode, you are missing so much of other people's output because you're outputting on your own. You can't output and input at the same time. I have been really making a conscious effort to become a better listener in the world of trying to not kill each other in this country or have this horrible violent end in America. I think everybody could work on listening a little bit. There are ways to do that. I watched this masterclass, what was her name? Esther Perel was her name, and she taught a masterclass called Relational Intelligence, and she had a lot to say, and I highly recommend if you have masterclass to go watch this one. But the point of it all, I guess, was when someone says something you don't agree with, the better instinct than to fight against it is to really listen to what they're saying and then ask them to repeat it. Which I thought was like, wow, that's a crazy suggestion, because it's so hard to hear something you don't agree with, and then it's way harder to like have the patience to ask to restate it. Is like that you're putting yourself in a very uncomfortable position. But I did that last night when I was talking to somebody who I had very different views on, and the conversation went a lot better than historically it has in the past. Since I listened to everything he said, and I really actively listened, I heard what was said, and then when I started talking, our default mechanism in the past has been to kind of talk over each other. And so when I started talking after listening for a long time and like really taking in the point, asking him to repeat certain parts of it, clarifying so I understood exactly what he was trying to say and maybe some of the motivation behind what he was trying to say to me. I started talking and he started talking over me, so I said, I listened to your whole thing, can you hear me out? And he said yes. I had earned being listened to because I had listened to him, and the conversation went even keeled conversation. That's huge. Like that's the only way we're ever going to get anything done. If we're just yelling at each other and talking over each other and trying to make the point over each other, we're never going to get anything done at all. Some people are just bought into a different algorithm and media source than I am, and it sucks because I think I'm right on this, on all of these things, or most of these things at least, but you know, that's not a way to get anywhere with somebody. I think if I'm able to master listening a little better, I'll be happier and I'll have more meaningful, deep conversations. I will earn more trust with people. People will know that when they talk, I will be listening to them. And that's really how relationships get deeper, is sharing experiences with each other. And I've dated people, and then we've realized that it's not exactly a romantic match, but there is some level of understanding here that's worth salvaging and carrying on into something else. So, I do become friends with a lot of my exes or people I've dated. Some of the greatest relationships in my life have come that way. As long as there is a level of compassion that you have for each other and a level of understanding and effort to understand each other that is there, the sky's the limit. As I get older too, I realize that the depth that you can go to with another person is deeper and deeper and deeper. There's no real limit on that. I have an awesome relationship with my parents and my brother, and I have a really strong group of friends in LA. I have a really strong group of friends in New York, my hometown in Boston, and I have a group chat with people from high school and one of my LA friends and one of my New York friends, and it's like, I've been so lucky to live a bunch of different places and meet so many people. I met so many people in my life already, and I'm like, I know this is like not especially unique, like everybody does this. Whether it's the girl that I'm doing with at Burgine, or it's my new coworker at the Grey Dog in New York, or this guy that I dated and now we're friends. It's like, I've been so lucky to meet so many cool people. Every time I step out of my comfort zone and meet someone new, it's always worth it. Like, it's always worth it. When I hate people the most is when I'm inside by myself. When I'm reading comments or when I am reading the news, I think of people in a much different way than when I'm just outside actually interfacing with them. You realize that for the most part, people are really cool. And yeah, once in a while, you will meet some people that you don't really with, or somebody will cut you off in traffic, and then it's really easy to dehumanize that person because you're not seeing a person, you're seeing a metal box. There is a person in there who has their own life and their own story. When I zoom out like that, and when I involve myself in a bigger thing than myself, and there's a lot of people there, if it's a music event, or if it's, for some people it's church, for some people it's concerts or comedy shows, or just anywhere that you're gathering with a lot of people to do the same thing and get the same thing done, that's the right there. Which is why a wedding is cool, because you're all just here to gather and watch and celebrate. And it starts in about a half hour, so I have to go. But I just feel really happy now. Like, I feel really filled up. And I'm on a TV show. It's about to air sometime soon. And so all my friends are going to get together and we're going to watch it. And that's going to make me feel really supported as well. Thank you for tuning into Pasta Water, episode 4. Subscribe down below. I'll see you next month. For you, say.